Hi, and welcome to My Budget Gourmet's Cooking Show, Episode 3. Tonight we're going to cook a shrimp stir fry, and I'll show you the ingredients here in about 2 seconds. I wanted to show you this picture right here, just for the sake of showing you this picture, because I just felt like, having painted everywhere but where this picture is tonight, that I felt like it just needed some credibility for this video. Alright, now on to the ingredients. You'll see here in this pot, I have mixed 1/2 of a cucumber thinly sliced. I have taken 1 carrot and shaved it with a potato peeler. I took another carrot and I thinly sliced the carrot. I took 4 complete celery stalks and I sliced them about an 1/8 inch thin. I took a tablespoon of my favorite Mrs. Dash. This time I used the green lid. I took 6 radishes and I sliced them very thin. 2/3 cup of a sliced onion into strips. 12 to 16 ounces of the 100 to 120 count shrimp, peeled, deveined, and no tail. These are the pre-cooked ones you can find at your local Walmart. A teaspoon of oregano. I have a 1/4 cup of EVOO, 3 teaspoons of lemon squirter, and actually I say teaspoons, but I really just took the entire bottle and squirted some in there. And now I'm going to take this entire mixture and I'm going to shake it up nice and thin. I've added a 2/3 cup of cabbage afterwards, after I shake this all up, because I didn't want too much seasoning in the EVOO on the red cabbage. It kind of makes it run a little bit, it'll turn the whole thing purple, but I kind of like to get it warm in the microwave with a little bit of water in a bed in a pan, and then let it steam for a little bit, then drain the color off so that it doesn't taint the flavor of the entire mix. Alright, now I'm going to put a lid on this, I'm going to shake this up, and we'll get cooking. Hi, and welcome to My Budget Gourmet Cooking Show Episode 3. Tonight we're going to have our stir fry like I told you earlier, and I've already showed you a little bit of the ingredients. And so I'd like to show you what it looks like all mixed up. Sometimes I use a wok, which is okay for this mixture, or I can take it from the pot you saw it all in and add it little at a time to a larger skillet. But you can also dump the EVOO into the entire mixture, as you'll see I've done, and shook it all up, and you can add the heat to it and turn the heat up, as long as you have a non-stick pan. Let me show you what I mean. It's all nice and mixed up, as you'll see here. And what I do is I'll turn the heat on just a little bit, and I'll have the heat going, and then I'll get it nice and sizzling in the bottom. I've got a 1/4 cup to about 1/3 of a cup of EVOO in the pan. And so that as it gets hot, I can just put the lid back on and shake it around. And as long as I have it on high heat for the entire duration. And we'll be back in a minute when you see it nice and golden. And what you're going to see now is me being quite silly. I've got the heat on our mixture, and about every 30 seconds, I will pick it up and I will stir it. And here's how I stir it. Forwards, backwards, and turn. Now take the lid off so that it doesn't build up too much moisture in the pan. And we'll do this several times until all of the EVOO has been completely soaked into the vegetables and the shrimp. Once you've got the EVOO and all of the seasonings worked into the vegetables, it's not too hard to grab your strainer spoon and spatula to get the oil off of the sides and just keep working it into the pan on high heat. You do not want to let the heat get lower than high heat. It's going to sizzle for a little bit, but that's okay. We want it to sizzle. And if you want it crispier, and that's which is okay, you probably will, you can take some of it out and add it into this pan that's on the side, and you don't have to add any oil into it. It's all going to be soaked in there. And then you can just go about your business stir frying it in the pan. Okay, now that I've got all of the vegetables into this pot, having soaked up the entirety of the juices that I've put in here, I dumped it. The water you see in here comes from the EVOO and the water coming out of the frozen shrimp. Now I've got about 1 serving, which is 2 heaping scoops in this 1/3 cup ladle. It's also a strainer, and so it takes some of the juices out. You see I didn't add anything to the pan, and I've got my spatula out, and so that I can stir it around in the pan. We'll get this in here nice and hot on high heat, and you want to keep an eye on it and keep it evenly spread out. This is one serving. This entire meal costs $7. The most expensive part was the shrimp. It was $2.79 for the shrimp. And the cabbage I already had. You have to buy the entire head, which is going to run you about $1. The celery I already pre-bought. I bought it 3 days ago, and I've already made 3 entire meals with it. And so if you look at the costs all together, we had to just buy shrimp today. The sack of carrots I've already had on hand. I used 2 carrots totaling $1. I say $7, but that was $7 3 days ago when I first bought the vegetables. And so you'll see here, I used 2 carrots equaling up to about 35, 37 cents, depending on if you went to Walmart, Save-A-Lot, or Kroger or anywhere like that. 3 to 4 celery stalks, 2 carrots, a 1/3 cup of cabbage, a 1/3 cup of onion. All of the vegetables going to equal to about $3. You take in the oil, the EVO, which is a 1/4 cup. That's going to cost you about $1 for that because the EVO is real expensive here in Tahlequah. But I'm paying about $6 for the size that I purchased, and it is the Always Safe. So it's really good. I'd much rather use it over conventional methods of grease because the cholesterol, the saturated fat content. And we'll be back in a minute. Well, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in tonight. As you see, I've added the final remainder of the contents of the large pan into here slowly in about 6 steps. Let me turn the heat down for a minute so I can talk. You'll see I've added the rest of the meat in here and the vegetables, and I've stirred it all up. And I'm going to cook this until there's not anything left as far as liquid in stirring it. And you'll start to see it won't get brown, but it's going to get to a nice mixture. Once you get it to the texture you would like, you can take it out. I like to cook mine until most of the oil is completely gone. But that's why I do it in stages. And so, thank you again for tuning into My Budget Gourmet's Cooking Show, Episode 3, Shrimp Stir Fry. I hope that this will help you cook something for a decent price and have a great taste in your mouth. If you look on my blog, you'll see that I have several healthy shrimp recipes so that you can cook them. And I also have a nice little shrimp sauce that I mix with my own texture. If you'd like to try it, then it also will. I like to take sometimes a 1/4 cup of apple juice towards the end of this and add it into the mixture and cook that in as well. And then shake on a little bit of garlic powder, not garlic salt, just for additional flavor. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. What do you think about that meal there, Jason?
Delicious.
Why would you say that it's delicious?
Because it is.
Wow, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This makes a wonderful topping to this shrimp. If you have some tortillas gently toasted in a pan, and then you add some of this on right before you roll up in a tortilla, it makes a wonderful dish.